I wanted to retain the control because we know how, it can sometimes go haywire. So I want to keep myself in the loop, which is, keep the human in the loop to decide whose invite you want to accept or reject. Yes, we will talk about like what's the agenda for today. So we'll talk about initially what are we automating. This is two things which we are automating: birthday message and invite acceptance. Uh, it basically runs which it control a real Chrome browser like Playwright. So what happens is, like, if you go on your LinkedIn, you click on wherever you need to click. It's like human going, opening LinkedIn, scrolling the pages, go to the my network section. But okay, so it tells me there are 8 birthdays that needs to be sent today, right? And if I have to tick, it'll send. If I untick, it'll skip for 2026. If I cancel, it'll skip for today, right? So let me just select all. I think what it ensures is that nothing is your login is not getting your LinkedIn password is not getting saved anywhere. It's you logged in and that cookie gets saved in your session, and that's how it gets authenticated every time. But it finds. So my approach was not that okay, these are 5 prompts I've given you, fix it, build it now, right? It was, I think, the best experience was that working it closely, like you work with the like tech colleague.
Folks, thanks for joining another AppliedAI session. Really happy to have you here. And today we have an amazing session, which is something I felt personally excited about. But before we get into the session, a few things. One is introducing ourselves a little bit. So we are AppliedAI Club. We are a community for builders and operators to learn how to use AI as a technology. We do two things. Number one is we create and curate these weekly sessions. Mostly these happen on Saturdays at 10 a.m. And we bring an expert who actually teaches us a specific concept around AI, right? So that's what we do. We've done close to 50, 55 sessions in the past. Most of them are recorded on YouTube, available for free. All these sessions are also free. It's just a way for people to come and learn, right? The second thing we do is we conduct these occasional study groups. Study groups are a format where you come together as a group, you learn to build with AI, right? So we just closed one for finance, and that got over a couple of weeks ago, and we are curating another one. Hopefully next week we'll be able to launch. Right. So if you're interested, and these are like self-study, there is nobody who's actually going to teach you. It just create a format where you can actually get in and learn by yourself. Right. So yeah, keep an eye out for the announcement. Yeah, apart from this, there is a WhatsApp group that we have. We have close to 500 people, actually more than that, in the WhatsApp group. So where we discuss anything and everything that's happening with AI. So if you're interested in joining, you can, join that WhatsApp group also. I'll post a link inside. So that's essentially what we actually do as a community. And getting into today's session, so a couple of housekeeping. One is please post your what do you call messages or questions on chat. So whenever Yashveer is actually available, he can actually pick them up. Otherwise, we'll also have some time towards the end to discuss all of those things in detail. If anything is urgent, I'll pick them up and I'll interrupt Yashveer and we can try and answer it then and there. Also, that this session is going to be recorded and put up on YouTube. So if you're sharing any sensitive material, let me know so that we can edit this before we put it up. Okay. All right. So that's about it. So introducing our presenter today. So I'm so glad to have Yashveer coming and sharing his knowledge with us. So Yashveer is an associate partner at Antler VC. This is the first time we have a VC coming and actually presenting to us. And Yashveer is actually doing something interesting. So he joined a few weeks ago at AppliedAI Club. We ended up speaking, and he has done something very interesting with respect to automating his life on LinkedIn. And this is something that most of us actually struggle to do really well. While we want to be part of that community and create that engagement, it's not exactly easy given the lives we actually lead. So I found it very interesting to have him here and take us through what he's actually done. Yashveer, please introduce yourself a little bit more for the community and over to you.
Sure. Thanks, Bala. First of all, I think I want to correct you that I am no expert here. I am the learner here. Thank you for giving me opportunity to be part of the community. Hello, everyone. Just a very brief introduction. I'm Yashveer. Comes with almost 22 decades of experience. Started my career with technology. Obviously, this was very long back. Wanted to move to business side, so immediately move on to did masters, and then uh, then my career spanned around corporate banking, wealth management, investments, advising, managing investments, largely into private space. Before I joined Antler, which is obviously a very early stage pre-seed VC fund. Uh, I've always worked at an intersection of capital and opportunity in private. Helped a lot of families, institutions, business owners to build their private portfolios. In the process, build my own. Large part of my net worth is locked into private. So I'm a LP investor in 5 VC funds and about 12 direct companies. I think I would say I've been lucky that 6 of my 12 companies have gone IPO. One big one got filed day before, which all of us know, NSC. So eagerly waiting for that. But yeah, I think this is more on the professional side. But when I used to be in Bombay. I moved to Bangalore recently, like around 8, 9 months back, and this city buzz around technology. And I'm so glad that I moved here. Got introduced to Bala, Applied AI Club, and many other, you know, uh, people in the ecosystem. And all I'm doing is trying to not fall behind in this new wave, new journey. So trying to learn whatever I can. So I've tried doing something with LinkedIn. Basically, my approach to adopting AI is that can I make my life better? Whether it's work life, personal life, trying to automate some of that stuff. So I'll pause here. Maybe we can start. I'll try to. I put some. I've not put actually. I've stopped putting anything on my own. This is again. I use Claude to also help me. Let me see. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
We can.
Okay. And is the font etc. visible or this is too big?
I think this
Uh,
problem. Yeah.
this proper. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So to start with, I actually thought so. Given last 18 years of my career focus is on relationship management in various aspects of my professional career, right? Whether it is corporate banking, wealth management, investment side, etc. And I am somebody who's like deep believer in managing, maintaining relationships. Sometimes it's very difficult to maintain one-on-one touch with everybody, but let's say a birthday happens once a year for everybody. It's a great occasion to send a message to somebody, and it sort of rekindles, rebuild that connect. So I've been doing this since last 18 years, sending people birthday messages earlier on SMS when there was no WhatsApp, then WhatsApp, and now LinkedIn. Uh, I used to do it manually. The first thing that came to my mind is maybe I'm busy in my life. Sometime it skips. Can I just automate this piece, right? And when I was doing that, I thought that can I also automate like, you know, every day we get a lot of LinkedIn invites, right? And typically what we do is whenever we are in between travel, etc., we go to LinkedIn, open, and we click on that manually. I said, why to do this? Maybe can somebody do this for me? Which is, let's say, use AI to do this. But also, I wanted to retain the control because we know how it can sometimes go haywire. So I want to keep myself in the loop, which is keep the human in the loop to decide whose invite you want to accept or reject, and whom all you want to send message or not, right? So I'll maybe next 10, 15 minutes I'll try to walk you guys through what I've tried to put together and what challenges I faced basically. While I come from technology background, but that was like almost 1.5 decade back, so I consider myself a non-technical for sure, right? uh, Moving on, this we just discussed. I shared my background. Yes, we will talk about like what's the agenda for today. So we'll talk about initially what are we automating. This is two things which we are automating: birthday message and invite acceptance. Uh, it basically runs uh, every day at fixed time in the morning. It shows me a pop up. I confirm, and then it gets done in like 30, 40 seconds. We'll talk about how this was built, because we all know that LinkedIn doesn't allow a lot of API calls, or a lot of bots interaction with AI with LinkedIn are always blocked. Like, so I've found a different way that can we use, let's say, a Playwright, more like to LinkedIn thinks that it's Yashveer only which is approaching it rather than a bot or an AI. So that worked, and I'll happy to take you through that. How did I arrive to this? Because I was struggling, right? And I'll show how we all approach this. Uh, then I don't mind like doing a quick demo and showing, like, to see who all are on my invite today and whom all I need to send a message today. And then maybe like how did I build it with AI? Uh, Yes, so these are two things. Why do we automate like LinkedIn? So the honestly, like it's just to maintain professional relationships, right? This platform have so many things. Just sending somebody a birthday message, or also to manage your invites. You can choose. There are a lot of spam invites also comes. A lot of people send you pages to follow, right? You can choose what to follow, what not to, instead of going through it manually. It's a 2 second, 5 second task for you every day, because you want to be in the loop. By the way, you can build it automatically also if you want to accept everything every day or reject everything every day, right? You can do that. So by doing it manually, it's difficult to scale. The LinkedIn, as we know, that it has a developer API, but it doesn't support these kind of activities, right? Which is, it is a lot more for enterprise, use case, more around recruitment, more around doing other stuff, but not, let's say, personal relationship maintenance. There are some paid automation tool also, which obviously Claude only told me, but when it flashed the $50, $100, I said, we can skip this. I rather pay you, max Claude, thing rather than going through this. So yeah, so used, Playwright, which actually is nothing but we use Chrome browser, right? Which it control a real Chrome browser like Playwright. So what happens is, like, if you go on your LinkedIn, you click on wherever you need to click. It's like human going, opening LinkedIn, scrolling the pages, go to the my network section, birthdays, go to individual clicks, right? It the this automation does exactly like that. So LinkedIn sees a normal browser behavior, a normal browser session, and not like a API call, right? uh, yeah, so I think this was it. Like, you have full control because uh, you know LinkedIn also changes its layout very frequently, and they don't announce that I'm changing my DOM, right? uh, so we at times have to update the script few times. Sometimes it breaks. It also keeps you up that, okay, if something has changed. So by all of this used to happen a lot more in the earlier part, but now I've arrived at a level, fixed it in a manner that what I need to achieve is that birthday messages needs to go. Sometimes the visual part may break, which is like, say, marking the birthday calendar, etc. But that's okay as far as the birthday messages goes. It serves the purpose, right? Uh, yeah, there was some design, let's say, decisions. Like, one, it runs locally on your Mac, right? So there is, everything is stored, all your data, all your logs, all your, like, whom the birthday message got sent to, whom it skipped. It maintains all of that. So there is no server cost, because I think for such a small simple task, it's like overkilling. If you go for a server approach, right? And on obviously, now initially I first started using, like, running it manually. Then I said, okay, let me just put a scheduler, right? So uh, I use my Mac. So Mac has an inbuilt launch T, which is the inbuilt alarm clock or scheduler. So you can configure it that run the script at 9:45 a.m., right? That typically when my Mac is also on, right? Because I start my work at 9:30, so my Mac is on. So there's very low chance, unless I'm traveling, that Mac is off and it may not run. But then you could. I have also scheduled it that maybe once Mac is, if Mac is off and the time is passed, whenever it will comes off sleep, it can again trigger the automation. So Either it's 9:45 or whenever my Mac wakes up, right? Uh, but some of these things got built incrementally because, and I want to take like 2 minutes to share like how did I start with this, right? So I obviously asked that Claude that this is what I want to build, automation that goes every day to my LinkedIn, see who all are in the invite, and give me a prompt box allowing me to select, unselect. If I select, accept it. If I unselect, reject it. Uh, Same way for birthday message, go to my network, find out whose birthday is today, give me a summary. Whoever I select, then send a message. It's a standard message, the same message that LinkedIn sends to anybody, right? Which is a wishing you a very happy birthday. It's a very standard message. If it's a belated birthday, it says happy belated birthday, right? So I wanted to also keep it exactly same at that point in time. So when I asked Claude, it went into okay, okay, this we can do, but like it started with me that okay, this is not possible, that is not possible, right? Uh, then there was a lot of issue on the login, right? Because you know I every time it needed you to log in, right? Which is more painful because it takes longer time than rather you go and do it manually. So I think ultimately zeroed down on that, can you store a session cookies on LinkedIn login on browser, save it locally, right, on your machine, right? And so that I don't need to log in every time. So it's done once, unless LinkedIn logs me out. And if it logs me out, whenever this script runs, it first takes me first to do a login once, right? And it typically remains like I've not been logged out. It's been like a couple of months out of LinkedIn, so working fine. Right. Uh, Obviously, there is no database in this, right? Because for there are generally around this automation, there are challenges that people were getting duplicate messages sent, right? People were some was not getting sent, right? So some of those things I obviously that's like helping Claude build a logic that okay, if you have skipped somebody, skip it, but it shouldn't skip it permanently, right? It should skip it only for the year. Maybe next year I want to send, maybe I've already spoken to the person and wished him also. Like a lot of these time your professional network and your personal network is common, right? So you could, if you already send a WhatsApp, why do you want to duplicate and send it on a LinkedIn, right? So that's why sometimes I skip sending it on LinkedIn, right? So, and I think this is very important part, that this one saved login for for LinkedIn login. Yeah, and yeah, I think this the thing that got used is the, as we know, LinkedIn is entirely built on JavaScript, and Claude is also super comfortable with JavaScript. So this, that was the reason for going for, let's say, Node.js instead of like a Python code, because this not that it can't work, Python could also work, but this is a lot more, yeah, Playwright's better support and all of that for JavaScript. Okay, let's deep dive, like what are we automating, like, so you know this literally happens, it reviews all the pending all the pending invites, it opens up, it goes through, then it gives me a multi select sort of a pop up, which earlier it was only giving me name, and then it's very difficult to figure out name. So I asked it that improve it, tell me the designation, tell me the organization at least, right? And something like this appears. So let's say if out of these four, three are selected, and I say okay, this three will get invites get accepted, the John D will get rejected because I didn't select it, right? But in this case, if I cancel, then nothing happens, right? You accidentally sometime, let's say, what if you just cancel, right? The only risk here is, and I just realized that risk, that if this pop-up opens and you have not selected anything yet, and by mistake if you click okay, right, because everything is unselected, it will reject everybody, right? uh, but that is like if accidentally, if you click okay. uh, Second is same way, the birthday message, it tells the name. It also gives me, let's say, if yesterday for whatever reason I was on flight, I was traveling, I couldn't send message. So the people who had birthday yesterday, it'll show today because it didn't get run yesterday. So it will show them as belated. 1 or 2 days you can also send people belated birthday wishes, right? Not like 1 month later, but uh, so same way you select, it go and sends the message, right? Uh, I think this. earlier it was sending duplicates. So while debugging it with Claude, figured out that can we maintain a log locally, right? So it maintains a JSON file which is basically 30-day log. It maintains whom the birthday got sent to, whom it. If you have skipped somebody, you skip it for the year, not entire life. So okay, if I skip somebody, let's say Vikram Nair here, I unselect this whole year. Vikram Nair won't like appear again, right? But next year again on his birthday, this will again prompt, right? So that was thing. Earlier, both these things used to run together, right? And when I was debugging, I figured out that one LinkedIn is not able to handle two automations at the same time. So if 9:30 everything was running, it is also going to invite acceptance page, and it was also going to the birthday message page, and it was sort of a struggle, right? So I then said that okay, first thing is we run these two scripts separately, one at 9:45, one at 10 a.m., right? So that there is enough, like 15 minutes gap. And second thing is, I also, because the invite thing is pretty simple and it was not breaking at all. So I said that why don't you do one thing? Just, hive off a different, script only. Keep two separate, because the birthday ones gave me a lot of trouble, right, to fix it properly, because there is a lot more navigation on the screen. And that's why, I put them as two different scripts, so that while it fixed something else, it shouldn't break the earlier one. And so it's more like, I think Bala also once shared that try to keep these mini projects and then build it and on top of that. So yeah, I think this is what we did. Bala, if you want, maybe we can you know show a live demo now, right? On
Yes.
Okay. So now see, this is what it has shows. Uh, Three invites I have. There's somebody, Kiran, is a
Oh,
this
wow.
gives me a lot of, actually it captures the entire people who write like a lot of stuff. I'll bring it down to your latest organization and all of that. uh it was, see, this earlier, this apostrophe, so anybody who has an apostrophe in the name was getting broken. So I'd fixed that also, so it's working fine. So what I do is, let's say I'll select all these three, because I think these are people who, some of these two guys I've interacted. Arjun DS is, I know him, so maybe I'll just accept. So when I do accept, it'll go to all of this is already accepted, all three. So it ran pretty fast, right? Now
Wow.
let's do the longer one. And today I'm also a little tense because it has some 12, 15 birthday invites. So let's see if one thing is for sure, it'll send birthday message to everybody, but there is one code I'm trying to fix. Let's see if it works today. Run LinkedIn birthday messages automation. Yeah, I think now it'll run. Okay, I think the previous one is not closed yet. Just one second. Maybe
Yeah.
we wait for a minute to
Yeah. I think the compacting
just close the logs, etc. It's anyways, let's wait for it. Maybe we can like move on to uh to the next piece till we get a alert there.
So, Yashveer, I have a
Yes,
question on this.
yes,
If let's say there are, so you get a lot, I'm sure you get a lot of spam invites also. Is
right.
there any way to kind of filter? Is it mostly manual, or does it do some kind of pre-screening?
Yeah, so that is the next step. Like there's a last slide on like what all can also be built on top of this. One is that, right? Because, and especially maybe it's a lot more relevant for you, right? Because you run a community, you lot of time you could get a lot of spam. Uh, my and we can very well run it like a
Oh,
uh,
wow. Okay.
now are you seeing like now it's going to the birthday this thing that got
Magic is happening. Okay. Wow.
so let's just wait. Okay. So it tells me there are 8 birthdays that needs to be sent today, right? And if I have to tick, it'll send. If I untick, it'll skip for 2026. If I cancel, it'll skip for today, right? So let me just select all, and let me take you to the LinkedIn to see what happens here. Yeah. Can you see the first one is done? First one
Yeah.
generally gets done because of the, LinkedIn has this scroll issue. I hope that that has got fixed because, you know, yeah. So I think that has not got fixed. But what it will do is it will send birthday message to everybody. So earlier this scroll thing was not getting solved. So if the scroll is not working, which still it's not working, it will go and send using the URL and send a message. So the only thing is message has gone to Sanchit, but this birthday card is not marked like this is marked, right? So I'm trying to fix that. Uh, you know, it got fixed earlier, but LinkedIn changes their DOM very frequently,
Correct. Correct.
and because it is like when Playwright using Chrome goes there, it doesn't read how humans read. It reads it based on DOM, right? So that's where the struggle. But we will go and see on the messages. It will send a message to everybody. There is some messages tab here, right? Somewhere. Yeah, let it run. It'll go. Once it's done, it'll show us a prompt that all 8 messages sent. Once it's done, maybe then we can go and verify also. Like, one thing was also breaking, right? It was that if there was already a communication or interaction with somebody, so it was not going and drafting a message, some random issue with LinkedIn. But anyway, so it will show us. Sorry. Yeah. So Bala, to come back, yeah, I think the one thing that can definitely be built is, can you build like more intelligence? Obviously, you have to tell Claude that these are the things that you should look out for, right? Whether this is a spam or no, right? Maybe rather than spam, maybe you can prioritize that. Okay, anybody who
Yeah.
is a builder in his profile, founder, investor, you know, uh, CXO, those kind of ones you should accept. And let's say, okay, maybe in your community, you could say anybody student, please, like, accept. Like, I'm
Yeah.
happy to like open my community to them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There are a couple of questions on the chat.
Okay.
Probably
I'll.
close them and then we can.
How do I go to the chat now? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can see.
Yeah. LinkedIn
Okay, we
blocking
start.
accounts.
Yeah. No, this doesn't happen actually, because the purpose for, so LinkedIn doesn't actually, a bot won't be able to run this because LinkedIn immediately blocks. The reason, this Chrome browser approach using Playwright was used was only to ensure that it's, for LinkedIn, it appears that you are you're a human only doing this, because what
Yeah.
you're doing is you're opening the link, then you're scrolling through pages, going to pages, clicking anywhere. It's it's like that. Yes, if you refresh, it does update. I believe, Ashima, you are wanting to ask that if I refresh, one of these section, does it update? So, you know, let's say if we run this and immediately somebody else send a invite or birthday message obviously gets run once, but if you get another invite, uh, it will run. But I put it, you can run it as many times as you want. You can schedule it hourly. If somebody has huge volume of invites coming to you, you can run it at whatever frequency. I do it once a day. I hope that answers. uh, okay, yeah, you're right. So I think that scroll issue, it gets fixed, but LinkedIn, without intimating anybody, they update their UI and this thing. So it gets stuck. So I found a way, which is that you run and you deliver these birthday messages irrespective of scroll, right? So, and LinkedIn by default, after every click, reset it to top, right? The scroll. So if a human doing it, we are we are able to find, but because they also keep changing their document object model, which is DOM, that is where we struggle, right? Because the 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 playwright is not able to visually see, right? They're not seeing what we are seeing on on LinkedIn UI. They read UI basis the DOM structure. So if that gets changed, it gets broken. But what I've ensured is that you fix everything on the back end, right? Which is sending messages to everybody, because that was the main objective. Because I don't need to see that if the birthday, but I'm trying to solve that, if even if the birthday card gets marked or no. Let us now go and see our. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's still, I think, okay, cool. I'll close this. And how do we see all messages today? Yeah. So it has sent messages to, from here onwards, all 8 messages it has sent. And we can see like it's very standard. It's gone to everybody, people who are in the network. All right. Yeah, back to where we were. Any more questions people have before, or can we proceed?
I think we can proceed. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
There are questions you can
So,
post on the chat, folks.
okay, cool. Uh, this is how, some of this we have just discussed. So Playwright was used because it controls, you know, a real Chrome browser. So it clicks, types, scroll, so the LinkedIn doesn't see that, there's an API call. It sees that there's a human. Uh, Obviously, Mac OS inbuilt launch T was used to put a scheduler. I put the scheduler off for today because I wanted to show a real demo today. Otherwise, typically it gets run for me at 9:45 and 10 a.m. every day. Uh, this is important, right? Because you saw that it didn't ask me to log in into my LinkedIn, right? It has actually saved session cookies once in your local file, right? And both script use the same session, right? There are two script. One is for invite, one is for this, but it use the same script. So it logs in once and it runs forever, unless let's say you get logged out of LinkedIn. But if that is also the case, whenever next time it gets fired, it will go to first take you to do one simple login, right, to your LinkedIn. Yeah, I think this is deduplicate was happening on, messages sent, etc. So this got sorted. Yeah, this is the prompt box, right? Because how you'll otherwise select, right? Because LinkedIn won't give you a prompt box. So because you're on Mac, it can give you a prompt box that, okay, these are the total. It's more of a summary. You can select, unselect, etc. Right. Cool. I think. Yeah, I think generally people it's a very common question, and I mean with all the sessions I've attended with Bala, anybody who comes and talk about anything around AI, everybody's concern is security, privacy, right? So I think I thought that maybe it's better that if I build this, maybe it's a very simple thing that I've done, but I think what it ensures is that nothing is your login is not getting your LinkedIn password is not getting saved anywhere. It's you logged in and that cookie gets saved in your session, and that's how it gets authenticated every time. Everything is on your Mac, so there is no data anywhere else, right? For this, uh, LinkedIn doesn't detect it because it's a human type behavior, and even if there is a session expire, like we already discussed, that it will the next time it will run, it will first take you to do the login. I think one key here for this automation is don't delete this JSON file, which is birthday sent, because otherwise, given we are not using any database, there's no other way to keep the log. This is my log actually, that it doesn't let me, if I delete this, then it will send, duplicate message to everybody for last 30 days, like, because it's a rolling 30-day it maintains, right? We'll quickly rush. Oh, this is the most interesting part. I thought it should be very easy to build, right? Because, uh, it just need to go click LinkedIn, two places, find, somebody who comes for a lot more business mindset is always like, why it's so difficult, right? Why can't you just, yeah, it's a simple thing. I'm telling you, take my login, go to these 2, 3 places, give me this, and it should be done, right? What is the struggle, right? But I think there were various, I put it down. Maybe we may not want to go one by one. Maybe we'll pick something which is, I think this one is still not getting solved sometimes. Like it was solved yesterday. Again, I think they've changed something. So it broke, which is like, after you send, uh, does it also go and mark the birthday card as sent? Right. And we've tried various things here. Like, I've asked Claude that you take the URL, try to sparse that if there are any parameters that we can use to mark a birthday card as sent, right? Still, the struggle is on. I think it's solved. The only thing is the because of the scroll, etc., it's not getting solved. And it also told me that or you take some other API route, pay for it, etc. By the way, Claude also is pretty smart. It actually, if you push him a lot, they it also comes back and tells you that now I'm at my limit. I can't, like, maybe we use a different approach, but it may be costlier, whatever. It also tells you that maybe you know you are not a great guy with me. You're telling me, you're pushing me a lot. You want to do this, but let's focus now. Your purpose is getting solved, right? You want to send birthday message, it's getting sent, right? So uh, it has been quite interesting. It pushes, but it finds. So my approach was not that, okay, these are 5 prompts I've given you, fix it, build it now, right? It was, I think, the best experience was that working it closely, like you work with the, like, tech colleague, to and you act like a business analyst and tell him that, okay, why it's breaking, where it's breaking, let's debug, let's find an alternate way how we can build this. Yeah, I think same. I think one good thing it did was because we were breaking a lot earlier, and so I asked him that you keep a log of what was causing that break, right? And so that next time you do it, please review, right? You're not fixing something and breaking something else again, which was already fixed, right? So I think this was quite helpful, and used it a lot more, like, as a as a as a companion to help you debug rather than just you tell that you build something. Yeah, I think one is that this is for a question open to everybody. Happy to suggestions. Somebody may have already tried something. Uh, I think one is that this is Mac dependent right now, right? So it Mac needs to be on in the morning or whenever it gets on. Like, I've tried this. I actually did once. I moved it on my code to Git, and it used to fire through Git. But the challenge there was that you can't. There is no prompt box, right, for you to select and select. Then there is no human in the loop. It will just send birthday messages to everybody, and it will accept all invites if you run it through Git, because difficult to get, because you are running it when your Mac is not on, nothing is on. It just get fired through Git. You have no human in the loop. So maybe the way to do this is, if it gets fired through, let's say, uh, you know, Mac independent, maybe can an email approval come, or can a WhatsApp message? Email approval is painful, but can a WhatsApp gets triggered, and where you can select on WhatsApp? So I've not tried, but maybe move the code to Cloud and try and see if that is possible. But also, I think at some point it will also be, you know, time, effort, and outcome needed. If you, it's not like a super critical task for me that I'm okay to run it on Mac also. If one day it skip, it's fine. Next day also it can accept and send. So I'm contemplating the first one. This one is easier. This I just actually some of this these are some of the suggestions are from Claude only. Ki, how do you improve? So it's not only my original idea, but I think the this is very easy to implement. That instead of sending wishing you a very happy birthday, maybe send a personalized. Yeah, put the name. It should be like 2 minutes to fix this. I think this is definitely an issue. Yeah, they keep changing their DOM, so this is what one needs to be more watchful of. But if anybody have any suggestion to fix something like this, would love to hear. And I think this, Bala, you mentioned already this, right? How do we keep the you know spam sort of this thing out, or how do we keep separating like cold outreaches, sale outreaches, what, etc. I think is something that could definitely be built. Uh, yeah, these are what I have also done is, like, if anybody wants to try this out, uh, there is a zip file I can share. The zip file has these 4 uh, you know files. These 2 files are the automation, and there are the JSON file, which is the package for all dependencies. And this is one time setup. So you could just unzip, run this command, log in once on LinkedIn, and it runs for you, right? Just check that because I've stopped for today the daily scheduler. Maybe just put a scheduler as per your this thing. And these are the requirement. Like I have not tried because I don't have a Windows, so I only have a Mac. So it has run on Mac. I'm sure it will work on Windows as well. This is the requirement. This homebrew. So this automatically Node.js and a LinkedIn account, which I'm sure all of us have. So yeah, I think that's all. It concludes our session. I hope this was helpful. Happy for any suggestion, feedback, thoughts if you guys have. And I will stop sharing and we can go if there are any questions.
This is lovely. We have a few questions in the chat.
Yeah. Can it be used to search for jobs or search for right connections to add? Definitely, right? So what I've built is only incoming, right? You could see anything that you go and do on your LinkedIn, right? Using your browser, you could automate using here, right? I think,
One caveat I would add there is LinkedIn kind of keeps monitoring for, what does a pattern look like, how many do you send
yeah,
to me, etc. So they will block you on that respect also. So just be
yeah,
a
but
bit.
maybe let's say because if somebody's saying search for jobs or search for right connections, maybe let's say if somebody wants to get okay, connect me to a top 20 VCs in Bangalore, right? That's a very narrow set. I think it should be fine. But if you tell me like connect me to all the VCs in the country, right? That is, I think even LinkedIn will break in that
Yeah.
case, right? Uh, but yeah, Ankur, I think you must definitely try. You should be able to find something. Uh, we can probably maintain a roster of 5, 6 different birthday messages, pick one in random. Great idea. It doesn't sound monotonous. It sounds personal. It sounds fun also, right? So only caveat there is that given LinkedIn is a professional platform, I mean, unless you know the person, you would not like send a casual message, right? Let's say Bala, I know Bala's birthday, I can send, hey bro, have a good time. But like versus if I don't know Bala, maybe I would prefer Bala, wish you a very happy birthday, have a great day, or something like that. So, but yeah, you can this easy to pick, right? Let it pick random. So this can definitely be built. But great suggestion, Param. Other than scrolling aspect, and what are the key problems you face by building? See, this was the main pain point, right? But uh, I didn't I didn't plan everything on day one perfect, right? I gave like a broader set that this is what I want to achieve. And when it kept breaking, I kept improving. Like okay, for invites, it was earlier sending me names. It's very difficult if I'm in the middle of something to figure out who this guy is. And my purpose is not to go to LinkedIn to check, right? So then I asked like, okay, now can you build on top of this that give me the organization name, give me like the key skill set or like what is the background, etc. Right. I think this gave me a lot of pain on trying to perfect the sending the birthday message, right? Because earlier the approach I took for a long period of time was that go and click that button, right? So that it serves two purpose in one go. It the message get marked, but because of the scroll and DOM, it kept breaking, right? Then I said, okay, maybe UI, it's okay. Like Yashveer is only seeing the UI, right? I'm not like the person who's the birthday message going, it doesn't matter to him how it has gone, right? It did Yashveer click on the birthday card and then it went, or did Yashveer send it via the URL, right? So we tried URL. Earlier URL also broke because it was not capturing one very important parameter. So I think there were not like major challenges. There were a lot more around uh, challenges which are constrained due to, let's say, the LinkedIn visual side. Nick Kaushal says that Yashveer, can this tool be built to help detect the best part to a stakeholder organization through one's network? Currently, it's a fully manual effort. Interesting.
Such a
We
brilliant yes.
yeah, we should definitely, right? But bets detect the best part to a organization through one's network. Okay, so if I understand this, you're saying, okay, if you want to connect from my network, if let's say I have an investee company and you want to connect there, how do we build the that part? Okay, that's a great use case.
Actually, yeah. So when I do sales research, one of the first thing is what are the mutual connects I have towards the target company. and you try to connect through them, and you can automate that entire workflow here.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Yeah.
But yeah, great suggestion. Karthik KN says, can we try something like adding a separate script that checks if the DOM changed? That runs. Yeah, I've tried actually. Modify. Okay, actually, yeah, I think my thought is also going more towards that. That how do you now make this lot more kosher in terms of it shouldn't break. But yeah, I think I must try this, Karthik. Great, thank you. Uh, Priyanka says I just started using Cowork for managing LinkedIn. Seems to be working well. How is your tool better? Uh, Great. Would love to know what you are able to manage with Cowork. It's I think I am happy to drop my this tool immediately if Coworks works best because again I think both think Coworks and this also is on your Mac only. So I'm assuming you're also doing the similar thing. But if 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 something is better, so I don't know like what have you achieved using Cowork, but what I can definitely share. Okay, make and publish posts, search for relevant posts, and leave comments for you. Yeah, I think my purpose was to only build this piece first. Uh, Posts, etc. I have a lot of folks around me who use Cowork, Claude to create and post uh, their LinkedIn post on a regular basis. People have scheduled all of that. I think that's a lot more my personal view. I think I may want, let's say, use Claude for engagement, leaving comments, etc. But I would. I think in the world of AI, I think the authenticity is somehow, going down. So I'm somebody with that thought process that maybe build your own content, use Claude to, let's say, make it, better for engagement, etc. Then, like, creating the entire post without you, right? So, but yeah, I think this, you know, eh, building stronger engagement is definitely a great idea. I think net, if you look at that LinkedIn, the challenge is around it doesn't allow too many bots interacting, right? And so, if we can find a way that, let's say, if you have achieved it using Coworks or let's say somebody used Claude, I think it was the same thing. But uh, maybe so far, what I have learned a little bit is that maybe browser is the way which we can achieve maximum, which is non-enterprise use cases, right? Like you buy LinkedIn Recruiter, you can do whatever you want, right? Because it's an enterprise tool for recruitment and hiring, etc. But for general personal use cases is where I found that there was some struggle.
All right.
Great. I think that's all. I don't think people have more questions because this was quite simple. Uh, so
But this is quite awesome, actually. So,
in
Yashveer,
fact, if you guys want, I can like share the. Uh, I don't know if in chat I can put the file.
no, we can. What we can do is I'll get it from
I'll
you whenever we
Yeah,
post. We'll have a
perfect,
link over
perfect.
there.
I'll
Yeah,
send it to you one
so
on one.
nice of you to do that. Thank you so much.
No,
Yeah,
no, I didn't do anything. I was just saying that if I was a audience after the session, I would want to send me the resources. So I tell
yeah.
Claude that why don't you put a brief summary of resources and what to be done, right? So I think, uh, yeah,
This is so nice. Thank you. We'll definitely do that. We'll along with the session video, we'll also post the link so that people can.
just one like honest admission that I'm no expert. I'm not like a builder, but just that I tried something on this. Thanks to Bala, like a lot of motivation, and I think this community has a lot of peer motivation, right? Like the other day when we were like seeing, Bala, before we joined, I was sharing with you that I'm trying to build something on the personal finance side. That was the
Yeah,
motivation because I saw like people building like finance. We did one session with finance,
yeah.
products that people had built. So, you know, I think as a next step, Bala, I would love to be part of that. Let's say some dedicated group study thing.
Yeah, yeah,
If I can learn from people, yeah.
yeah. I think that'll be phenomenal. We'll anyway. We'll probably be launching it next week, so we'll keep everybody posted.
Yeah, great. And thank you, folks, whoever has found time on Saturday morning to join, listen to this basic thing that I've done. But stay good to stay connected with everybody and look forward to stay in touch.
Thanks a lot, Ashwir. Really appreciate and
Thanks,
coming.
Bala. Thank you, everyone.
Hey,